What's up, everybody? Welcome to Laser Source Podcast, number one podcast. If you love fun evenings, you're about to have one. That's a Matt joke. Did you like it? No? Okay.
No.
I've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to get to this abomination in a second. I don't know if it's an abomination. You guys might completely disagree with me. I don't know. It's just fucking so big, dude. But we'll get to that in a minute.
It's girthy.
This is the number one podcast if you like laser engraving stuff, guys. I joke about it every week, but seriously, we're still here. We're like 180 episodes into this ridiculous show. It's crazy, dude. We're coming up on 4 years. That's wild. It's a wild thing. So if you're here live with us tonight, thank you guys so much for being here. If you're listening after the fact, we still love you. It's okay. We're just glad that you're tuning in. So yeah, I don't know. Man, I was trying to think of like a clever segue for JP Plus, and I just don't have one today. Did you know that Johnson Plastics Plus sponsors the podcast? If you didn't, they do, and we're very grateful for their benevolence in that regard. So make sure you head down to the description and check out the link that we have to their store. It's an affiliate link. So we earn a little bit of money when you buy stuff from them, which is great because they have good stuff. It doesn't cost you anything extra. We get paid, so we can keep doing the stuff we love to do. So if all of that sounds good to you, there's a 15% off discount code down there. It gets you 15% off almost everything in the store, including laser blanks. They've got different kinds of machines and inks and sublimation stuff and just all kinds of things that get super excited. If you're a maker, you can get super excited about it. And we support that, and they support us. So make sure you go check it out. It's a link down in the description. The code's YLRZDF. If you are curious if that has changed, we'll always keep it updated down below. So,
by the way, I've got your segue. Yeah. Like you always make fun of me for my bad segues. I got you. Ready?
I just did, dude. That was the worst one I've ever done. I didn't have anything. I had nothing.
You just took a long pause,
dude. I was sitting on girthy for a while, and it just
you can't. What you should have said is you want to talk about a monstrosity. The monster deals that you're gonna save when you use YLR-CDF.
Boom, that was a good one. Yeah, but you had a long time to think that up.
No, I literally had it within seconds, but you wouldn't shut up with I don't know words good.
That's not true. You cut me off all the time.
That's absolutely fair, but I didn't today.
Yeah, you didn't. You should have. The one time I needed you to. Just I'm gonna let him fall into this death
that
pit.
Was like when you got the last little piece of bread with that the soup at the bottom. You're just I'm gonna get it all.
Bunny says that that dramatic zoom you did was frightening.
It's really difficult to be that close up to someone so handsome. I agree. I mean,
it's
tough. That's why Alex makes sure we stay zoomed out very far from him. We're all actually super beautiful people. All of you who met us live at LBX a couple of years ago. Very true.
Rough times for you. Speaking of our live audience, let's say hi, Yuri the Big Cheese here today. First place. The big thing. Sean Barry was number 2. What up? Bronson number 3. Laura's here. Humbly will take 4th. And we got Bunny, of course. Smoke Show, Michael Ward, Mark Bigham. What a name, dude. I wish my name was Mark Bigham. You're like, hey, the name's Bigham. Mark Bigham.
Let's go back to girthy.
It's girthy Bigham. The Mark Big Girth. What's up, Mark? We're glad you're here. Mike C is in the house. Bojo says, I'm here. And GDS Woodcraft joining us tonight, too. So if you're live, what up? Look at this thing. It's ridiculous. That thing is huge. Have you poured through the spec sheet yet, Kyle? Because before the show, Kyle was asking me whether or not that image that's in the thumbnail, which is their marketing image, I didn't modify that in any way. He was asking me if it was to scale. That was the first thing that came to his mind. And I'm assuming it is, unless he finds something different. But I think it was I read it was 4 foot and change by 8 foot and change. I mean, it's a huge thing. And
so
yeah, what do you got?
There's 3 sizes from what I read.
Mhm.
So I think it's like 2 foot something by 2 foot something.
Mhm.
And then the next size up is, I think it brings the dimensions up to like 2 foot by 4 foot or 2 foot by 5 foot or something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think it's in the photos.
Anthony said the same thing I said. To me, that looks like literally the module looks like a laser engraving brick.
Yeah.
And
I
Anthony
mean,
said it looks like the size of a motorcycle battery.
It's true.
yeah.
That's very
Okay,
true.
here we go. So 4 foot by 4 foot with some change. 4 foot by 8 foot. 4 foot by 8 foot. 4 foot by 8 foot.
Wow.
So
these
these are it's the Ultra versus the Plus, and then I think there's like the normal size one, which is it's like 2 foot by 2 foot or something like that.
Mm.
We'll go through it, but here are the the raw numbers. You get a 120 watt diode laser, 4 watt infrared, and 200 watt CNC head. So I mean, this
Wait,
is
like a physical, like an X carve, like a rotating
Yeah.
CNC head. Wow. Okay, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a chunky unit, man.
It is.
So on in one of the photos I saw, it looks like there's I think it rotates through on this. So
Hold on. So I just really quick, Kyle, I'm going to let you get into that. And I'm
yeah,
going to stop interrupting you. But Bunny said, so when are they sending you one? Let me just set the stage here. These guys emailed me last night and they were like, hey, we're starting a Kickstarter. We've got these really big machines. They're super cool. We're not sending any out. But, you know, you could tell people they're really good. And I was like, I'm going to tell people something about it. So
Yeah,
that's
we'll look at it.
I just couldn't not bring it onto the show, honestly. But right now, it doesn't seem like I'm going to get one, at least in the near future. So I just wanted to throw that out there ahead of time. I'm not getting anything, and the only reason I'm talking about this today is because I think it's ridiculous. So anyway, continue,
it's
Kyle.
a beefy
Sorry.
unit. It's a chungus. It's got some pretty big claims for like one pass cutting.
Mhm.
Obviously, 120 watt diode that's like
It
it's a lot of wattage for a
It has to
diode.
have an air assist, right? Like, I mean, it's
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's got an air assist
I
like
want that little video.
thing. At least I'm pretty So and then it's got a chiller because you also have to consider the fact that like part of the reason why laser heads get massive is because they need to cool themselves. So a lot of the head is actually heat sink, right? Well, they're kind of it looks like they're taking a lot of that out. So it looks like one of these tubes is for water delivery and one of them is probably for a return. I do believe I saw a little oh my god, all the beam combiners
look at
going on.
Don't drop it.
Oh my god.
What did you say?
So it also looks like you can opt to do more or less wattage. So it is a common thing now, or at least becoming more common, right? That you can pick whether or not you want all the power or just a couple of the units on it to turn on, kind of like a little modular wattage kind of deal. And part of that gives you the ability to so if we look at like a CO2 laser, right? If you get like a 40 watt glass tube, you're going to have a much better engraving experience than you would with, say, a 150 watt tube, right?
Sure.
The dot size and the beam size are such that you're not getting the best of both worlds pretty much ever, unless you're picking a medium, but you're giving up something over the one end or the other.
Yeah.
This type of approach seems like it could be a cool idea to give you kind of the best of both worlds, though
Right, 'cause
I
you
haven't
could-
tried
You
a
could
laser out like this before.
just shut off 3/4 of the diodes and
You get a
would
finer dot
get
in theory.
that quality back. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
So
theory.
that's the theory behind it.
Does it
I've
have
been-
bilateral? Does it have bilateral movement in engraving?
Oh,
don't
like
know, dude.
bidirectional scanning.
Yeah, it's saying bidirectional. Sorry,
No.
yeah.
I would have met. I mean, we've had an Acmeir on the channel before, right?
No, I don't think so.
I thought. What is what'd your brother have for the diode? Wasn't that an Acmeir?
No, it wasn't Acmeir. It was a Tezer.
Ah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. So,
Which was not good.
I remember that one.
Just throw that out there.
Yeah, that might be why I'm not remembering it because it's just out of my mind.
Yeah.
So, there are other lasers that kind of use similar tech to this. Obviously, it's not something we've messed with, so we'll have to dig into that at some point. But I don't know if you noticed this, but there's 2 layers of diodes here.
Yeah.
In front of and behind, on top and in front
That's
of and
kind of
behind.
what I
on
was
bottom.
saying. Like, don't drop it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine all the alignment that goes into getting that.
Well,
Right.
as you say that, though, think about the fact that this thing is going to be shipped through UPS, which, as we all know, means they are yeeting this thing around.
Just
like
hella packing foam, dude. Hella packing foam. You know.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
still, Jesus.
So here's your kind of electronics harness on the right, and then it looks like this black hose is kind of your air assist, and then it looks like the 2 clear hoses are for your water cooling.
Yeah.
So, and here's the heads. So you have 3 inlets, 2 for water, 1 for air, and then it looks like it's got a little bit of strain relief for the electronics harness. So that's pretty nifty. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and here's the enclosure. This is another thing that I thought was kind of interesting. So part of the reason why I've just been very unwilling to go the CNC route is because of the sheer amount of dust.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not willing to sacrifice air quality because containing a CNC is not so fundamentally different from containing a laser, but the dust tends to statically cling to everything when you're talking about CNC wood dust, like the fine particulate.
Yeah.
And then every time you move something, it like lets go and just goes everywhere. So
Do you think the top is like, you know, like the curtain material that like zigzags like that? It's like corrugated. Do you think it's like that? It's not like metal.
No, that's not metal.
No, it's not metal.
I'm thinking like the fabric curtains. You know the ones I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're like a solid sheet of fabric.
I think that, you know, the stuff that you put across your window, like when you, like are you guys aren't in states? Well, you guys aren't in states. No, like here in Florida where it gets to 112 degrees inside your car, like, or even higher, they have like almost like those solar
like
things,
the corrugated foil pack stuff.
Corrugated foil, yeah. And so like that's what it looks like to me, because that would have the rigidity, like if something bumped it or did something, and it would plus it's really easy to clean too.
So I mean you're talking about the dust, Kyle, but like I don't see how this setup would keep the dust contained at all. I feel like it would, like the top's always going to be open when that head's moving around. It has to be open. There's no way that
the dust collector at the end of it. What happens when you're cutting 8 feet away? Like, what's going on with that?
I don't know.
And I'm just saying, like that, like when he's closing the top there, like it can't run that way. There's no way it could run that way. They've shown other things where the heads are clear above the height of the walls. So I'm assuming that has to be open when you're like using it.
Smoke exhaust.
Oh, that's cool. Look at it go.
It's possible it could sneak under. I don't know.
Well,
it's hard to tell because of the camera angle. You know what I mean?
Scroll up a little bit.
While we're talking about the body, I start a comment here that I agree with. Mike Lougheed said, I don't see that frame being rigid enough to stay true. You would need to place it on a super flat surface, which like I feel like I agree with. And like, how fast is it going to move? How hard are those steppers going to be like moving that thing around? Because if you're putting any kind of like serious force on the crossbar, it's gonna, you know what I mean? Like the thing's gonna wobble.
Yeah.
Well,
Here's the sizes depending on which version
Yeah.
you're looking at.
so if you looked, it said that it has its own software. That was really interesting. It said free smart software built by Acmeir. And then it says save $120 each year on software licenses. Like that's straight up just saying like that's Lightburn.
Don't buy Lightburn.
Yeah, they're like, don't want to buy it, don't have to. But I wonder if it Lightburn
Compatible? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen a laser this big that is. To be fair. And would you use Lightburn or Milmage? Do you think that the CNC head works with Milmage?
Like just
that would be interesting.
Honestly, I'm guessing it's probably just. Oh, I don't know, because CNC you're working on Z-axis too, whereas with the diode you're purely just X and Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good question.
Swap out the millimeters for inches, and that's
we should
the
set
bottom of the
aside
page?
some
Is that it?
questions.
Is that all we know?
There's the software, laser software, Acmeir, Lightburn.
Oh, hey, Lightburn, right there. Boom.
Yeah. I mean that doesn't necessarily handle UGS and easel for the CNC software. It would be a good question to send them back an email about if they're planning on supporting Milmage.
Yeah. I wonder if Milmage supports any other machines that run those softwares that they're listing.
I know they made so when I talked to Jason 2 years ago, literally, or about Milmage. Actually, no, I talked to him about a year ago too. Like when the hurricane happened, he had reached out to check in on me, and we were talking about Milmage, and he had said they made it for, like, they basically were targeting machines like these that run these kind of software.
Yeah.
So basically the entry level and the mid level people who were kind of like, basically like laser engravers and laser cutters like us who have machines, have shops, and they want something that has a little more intuitive to it, like the ability to intuit it. So anyways, I think that should be good. Easel's so easy is what Bunny Washer said.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, like the guy who the guy who I sell stuff through his shop locally uses that, and he's shown it to me, and it's really, really cool. Like it really does, kind of like laser engraving, where it shows you what's going to happen, it shows you what it's going to do.
Sure.
And basically the difference is just being able to know every time you do a pass, drop down, X distance, and so it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. All things considered, like I'm not scoffing at this machine. I just think it's ridiculous. That doesn't mean I don't want it, Like I'm interested. It's interesting to me. I don't know where I would even put it. You guys know I have like at least 1,000 square feet of just workshop space, not including like the offices, and I don't even know where that would go if I got my hands on one, let alone like a normal person. Like this would be like half your garage.
This is you're dedicating some space to set it up kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say this is something where take a look. If you scroll up a little bit, it shows you. I think let's see, right above where it says 3-in-1 module system, where it shows them dropping the module in.
Yeah.
It literally talks about the fact that it has precision small area positioning, and so being able to, if you're someone who makes a ton of like really thin, small, like 1/8 and 3 mil, like Christmas ornaments, tags, keychains, anything like that. This thing, this is where Kyle talks about batch work.
Yeah,
this is it. Like this is batch work right here. Like finding the one thing I would think though is you'd have to have for cutting, you'd have the flat surface, but then you'd have to have like some kind of a grate underneath, and have some kind of a 4x8 grate or system in place for that. And then
typically for something like that, you would stick foam under there.
Yeah,
you wouldn't put knives because you would just you'd collide with it with the cutter on the CNC.
Oh, I just meant for like the diode.
Oh, like, for just diode work?
Diode just blasting through 1/8.
Matt's talking about doing like 40,000 coasters at once.
From a 4x8, like one of the things it says is you can do 11 times the amount of stuff that you could on like a 2 foot by 1 foot, right?
Well, if you fill that with just 100 millimeter coasters,
yeah,
You're talking 3 per foot, so is that 12 by oh my god,
12 by 24.
Eight
right?
times 12, whatever that is.
So that's
I
about
mean,
100. Yeah. So it's 96 of them. So basically, you're just cranking those suckers out, man.
Yeah.
And then, but that's where when you talked about would the frame stay true? If this is really gonna make, like, this might be the cutting machine, and then you have different machines for the engraving, I guess. But I don't know. That's what I'm sitting there thinking. Like,
I don't know.
it's cool
Up
that it can.
higher on this page, they showed like doing
they?
a big engraving. Like that was a thing they were like showcasing this for.
Yeah, I
It was a little
guess.
higher.
Yeah,
Also,
it-
judging by the size of that person's hand versus the rail, at least the one rail, I can't really make out what's going on back here if you can see my mouse.
Yeah, I feel like
But-
that's the important part too. I don't know if those walls add any structural integrity or if they're just there to
safety, keep your hands out of there.
contain mess and yeah, like. But it's hard to tell like just how thick those walls are, or if it's all relying on that kind of gantry frame for its stability.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering too, like,
Look
I know
there,
that it
right
says-
there. Wait, go back down, Kyle. Go back down. That one. Look at that. That's what I was talking about. That giant sheet of like engraving work.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, you can get stuff done, and if you're one man or one woman who's running a shop, and this is it. Like, you could like set this there and be doing other things while you're still working around it and not leaving it alone. Because
I was
this
going to
is
say watching
wild.
TV, taking a nap.
You can just leave your house and walk the dog.
Yeah, walk the dog. Mike says that's a good point about space. I can't imagine messing around with a 4x8 sheet of 1/2-inch wood and trying to load it without bumping the machine and bending that weak frame. Dude, 4x8 is huge. Like, I don't know if I'm like being super clear
big.
about that for people that don't have a frame of reference. Like, we used to have a 4x8 fiber cutter, and that thing was massive. That wouldn't have fit in a regular garage, like a regular single car garage. I don't think it would fit. And granted, that has some extra things. It's got a very, very big laser head. It's got the system controlled computer thing and the giant chiller. And you wouldn't have those things. This is obviously smaller than that, but you still need somewhere to put it. Just the footprint of it is just so big.
Well,
and I just can't imagine like the
context.
average person owning this.
For context, right? I'm a 6 foot, like 300 plus pound dude, and you could do a Bugs Bunny through a wall cutout of me going through a 4x8 sheet of plywood.
Yeah.
And that thing can fit a full 4 foot by 8 foot sheet of plywood under it.
Yeah, and see, this is where it's interesting. So Bunny has been blowing up chat, and he's saying some interesting stuff. Like, first thing he was saying is it looks like they have something called Acmeir tool software, and he was saying, I wonder if X Tool is just kind of like relabeling their software for this kind of stuff.
I saw that comment too, and I thought that because I just opened the We Create software the other day. We Create Make It. And I was like, man, this sure does look an awful lot like XCS, but neither here nor there. Continue.
Yeah, but the other thing that he had said too, and this is a great idea for stuff like this, if you are a one-man shop, lifting the machine in the air with pulleys and lowering it on a sheet, you could literally go to, like, to me, a smart thing to do would be to, if you were really going to set, because I've got a 20 foot by 20 foot shop that I'm in, right, my garage. 4 foot by 8 foot, you're going to need at least 6 by 10 to really maneuver this thing and do things. So that's the entire half of the garage. Like, that's it. If that was going to be the situation I was in, I would absolutely go to like some kind of tool shop and just get a oh my god, the thing that spins and lifts stuff for you.
Pulley?
No, like, I'm so tired. Anyways,
Like a crane?
No, it's one of the things
Forklift?
you put it on the front of your car, and like you can haul stuff out with it. Come on, chat, help us out here. Help the dumb guy who teaches words.
Well, like
kid.
yeah.
A winch. There you go, a winch. So, so like you can literally just get like a winch. Thank you, Directed Tech. And so it's one of those things where you could literally put that on there and have 4 chains, put some like eyes through it, steel eyes.
Yeah,
and it just lifts it straight up and takes it straight down. But then again, now you got a whole pulley system to set up. You're spending money.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you want to use a laser this big, like part of what made that fiber cutter so big is that it had under the fiber cutter a gigantic 8-foot by 4-foot knife bed with like rollers, like bearings, like bearing rollers, little like old school mouse wheels. You know what I'm talking about? And there were like 50 of them in an array, so that you could take your 4x8 sheet and roll them on the rollers across the knife bed to get them onto the bed. And this lacks that. So you're definitely going to have to be creative if you plan on maximizing use of the space. Of course, you don't have to load an 8x4 sheet of something into this. You could do like a 6x4 or whatever, and you'd probably be able to maneuver it in if the gantry is all the way at one end. But if you really want to do 8x4, you're going to have to get a little creative. I totally agree.
I think that's definitely like a use case. And the other thing is, at this point and at this price range for that kind of stuff, you got to start thinking about the fact that you can get a CO2 laser that has like for not too much more. You can get something that's got like hybrid movement. It's much faster. I mean, I don't know. And then on top of that, it's got wheels on the bottom. Like, it literally.
Can we see the pricing again, Kyle? Can you pull that pricing list back up?
Yeah,
it's at the very bottom, right?
Well, it's got. That's the comparison.
No, it was like the Kickstarter pricing.
Yeah, it's way near the top, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't have them all listed. So the Acmeir X1 Plus and the Ultra, and then if you get the 2-in-1 or 3-in-1, it's So
I mean, it's not outrageously expensive. It's just really big. It's just really big, man. Like, I don't even know.
I don't even know if this is the right word, but like, think about how far your reach is, and like the average person who's between 5 foot and 6 foot, their wingspan doesn't really count here, because you're not reaching across with your old wingspan. You're reaching across with one arm, not two. So you're not going to be able to probably reach the stuff on the other side of this laser unless you're laying over and like bending your back in half over something that's really, really short, right? Yeah. So ergonomically, if you're working at a properly heighted table for something for long-term work, you're going to have to walk around it. So you're probably going to want like 2 feet of workable space on all sides. So you can properly unload and load everything you've cut or worked on. This is like a full garage commitment. This is like fitting a van in your garage type of size.
I really want to just like ground the weirdness a little bit. I want to compare this directly to something that I just got into the shop. So if we look at the 120 watt diode laser version of this, it's 4 foot by 4 foot. That's the X1 Plus. Okay, that's $3,000 is the VIP price, and it's $42.99 MSRP, which it may or may not ever actually sell for. But let's just keep that in mind. And if you don't mind, Kyle, could you please pull up the Monport Reno 65 watt Pro?
Do you got a link for me?
No, that just I would just slap it into Google.
Yeah, while you guys talk about it, I'll pull up the Monport. The 65 Pro.
I think you're both doing it.
I got it.
Kyle's got it.
I got it.
And it looks like Kyle beat you. Okay, cool. So here's the 65 watt Pro. I just got this. Spoiler alert, new episode drops tomorrow morning, like 10, 11 o'clock probably. Uncrating this. So Rhiannon's got the camera, and we go all the way from uncrating through like the chiller setup, through gantry alignment and mirror alignment, and then we actually like mark and cut, because you guys always get mad at me when I do unboxings and then don't use the laser at the end. So we do a mark and cut at the end too. It still has some focus issues, which I need to figure out. I think I need to cut like a focal stick for it. But that episode drops tomorrow morning, so you guys will be able to watch us get uncrated tomorrow if you are interested. That said, that's not why I'm bringing this up. Why I'm bringing this up is because I feel like this is a really interesting comparison. So for half of the MSRP of the cost of that giant 4-foot by 4-foot laser with the 120 watt model, you can get a 65 watt CO2 laser that is a quarter of the size. And
this isn't an RF tube, is it?
No, it's not, but it's perfectly capable for 99% of the things that you would do with that other machine, unless you really need those massive beds. Like, what argument would you make against something like this and in favor for something with an,
so like if you're doing like an apples to bananas kind of situation?
It's not apples to bananas. It's what does the vast majority of users need? What do the most people need?
If you're a cabinet maker or a furniture maker and you're making like a custom mark on the side of like a 6-foot tall cabinet or like bookshelf you're making, then I could see like the purpose of needing something that big.
Or not even that.
Or even for that matter,
just making the cabinets. I mean,
yeah, you could CNC it out. You could do two sides.
Why wouldn't you just
at the same time
an F1 and take the bottom out and mark it with the F1 where it needs to be marked instead of putting the whole panel in?
Because are you going to stitch together like 400 marks going from top
are
to
you
bottom
saying someone's going to mark
cabinet?
the entire side of a cabinet?
Yeah, why not?
When have you ever seen that?
Maybe you just don't see it because it doesn't exist yet.
I've seen it
in Florida. Your opinion doesn't matter.
I've seen it in Florida. Like actually, one of my students, when I was, he was on the tennis team. His dad owns a massive chain of like national stores that you guys would know, and it's just one of those things where like, I remember I was like, we're coaching tennis, and the kid's like, hey, we could have the end of the year thing at my house. It's pretty big, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna have like 25 people, dude. And he's like, oh yeah, we can do it in our guest house. And I'm like, what's that now? And he's like, yeah. He's like, come on, it's next to our tennis court. And I'm like, you have your own tennis court? Like, I've known this kid for a year. We go to their house, and when you get in there, he had animals that he had killed from around the world because he's like a huge hunter. And then in there, he had massive TV, like TVs on the walls, and each one of them were like had covers, and they literally had huge laser engravings of like his company's name and stuff like that. So this is where they have like their end of the year party and stuff like that. But here's the thing: how many people are making stuff like that? Which is what you asked a minute ago. The right tool for the right job for the right person. My thought would be, if you're thinking about like, if you're someone who literally you've decided you want to do this for a living, and you want to just have like a machine that does nothing but cut these things so that you can engrave them with a smaller machine, or you're like, hey, I'm going to be doing like, this is just going to be engraving for the next 3 hours while I'm over here putting on, because honestly, think about ornaments, right? It cuts two things. So the first one's a cut. The second one is a cut and an engrave. And that thing is just going to be going. And while that's going on, I'm going to have to glue these things together if I didn't put some kind of adhesive layer between it. I have to decorate them, color them in, because you have to paint. Like the people who really make good stuff, quality items that sell at the shops that I go to, they've got to paint, or they might have 2 or 3 people who are doing like putting things together, doing painting. But meanwhile, your whole day isn't just stuck on a laser. You can actually do stuff. But that, again, I don't know how many people are only doing those handful of types of items. But if it is,
that's a consideration.
Mike,
can I just say one? Oh, go ahead.
What if I need to cut 400 Bigfoots?
That's fair. That's true. You could have cut your Bigfoot on that instead of having to cut it into like 40 cuts.
That is true.
Yeah, Alex, you
can I just say that not enough manufacturers give this statistic on their specs page?
Yep, that's huge.
And it pisses me off, like actually pisses me off. So when somebody comes to me asking for help and they're like, can I do rotary engraving? Can I engrave a bucket on a rotary on this? And I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Here you go. Here's 4 inches of Z depth. That's so easy. Why couldn't more manufacturers put that statistic literally anywhere?
Tidbit about that Z is that it's not motorized, obviously, because it's a $2,000 laser, but they did put the hex like inlay into the knob so that you can do the Jimmy drill trick to raise it up and raise it down if you have like the right hex size for that. So that was cool because I did that in the video. Mike's also wondering which one is more likely to set your house on fire. I'd argue the diode.
Especially, well, if it's not rocking an air assist for sure.
Yeah, and if it's sitting on a flammable surface. Yeah,
that too. Like if it freezes, I mean, if any laser freezes, technically it could, but none, because you shouldn't walk away from your laser while it's running.
Yeah, well, I also think the diode's more likely to catch on fire if its cooling fails than a glass CO2 laser tube, which would just
probably
shut down. Yeah,
it would pop if anything.
Yeah,
the diode could actually melt down. Yeah.
To me, and that's the thing. Like when you think about, again, when I was saying like you'd have to have some kind of a system for like laying the wood flat on something so that you do have that space underneath for like the laser to pass through. So like that's another consideration that you're gonna have to figure out. And I mean, I don't know. I guess did one of those come with a cutting bed from the Acmeir?
No, not that I saw.
I didn't see anything about a cutting bed. Like
because they're fucking 4 feet by 8 feet.
Right. So you would have to get like a CNC blade, like
table or something.
I would argue that you would probably just put it on like a generic workbench made out of plywood and like 2x4s.
Mike C also said, and I'm curious, I would never trust Monport after what they did with the Mega. What did they do with the Mega? What did I
need some context for that.
I need some context too. The reason I like this laser so far, the Reno, is because it's $2,000, which is half of what I paid for my OhmTech 2820 when I bought that off eBay. And it does about the same as that could do when I got it. And it's a very similarly conditioned machine. And I talk about this more in tomorrow's episode. I'm not going to go on a tirade about it, but
nice word.
Thank you. The guts of this definitely need TLC. It's hard to get in and out of. The parts are all off the shelf. There's nothing novel or interesting or special about this in any way, shape, or form. And things are going to need to be fixed on it at some point or another, if not immediately. And so it's one of those machines where, like, and I say as much in the episode, if you want perfect, I point to the Mira. I'm like, go buy a Mira. It's $20,000, right? You can get 10 of these for what you pay for one of the Miras. So it's definitely a machine that needs some love. But for a lot of people, that's going to be a valuable trade-off. They're going to make that trade. And so being able to identify the shortcomings will help you overcome them when they do eventually become a problem, or you do eventually get sick of not having feature X or Y, so just knowing what it lacks up front, I'm willing to forgive a lot with this thing for it being $2,000. I think people get very just like greedy and entitled about what they get with their lasers when they're getting like a lot of laser for very little money these days. Prices have come down so far and people get so much for so little these days. I think this is a lot of laser for that price tag. I really do. So I'm okay with a lot of the things that went wrong during that uncrating just because I know it's $2,000. I started my business with a laser like this. That was just a literal piece of shit for $2,000. And as long as everything's in there and works when it shows up, and by works, I mean literally physically works, not is like perfectly adjusted, there's not a lot you can complain about at $2,000. And that was more or less the experience I had. I mean, even one cool thing that I didn't think it was cool in the moment, but I do think is cool now that I've sat on it for a little bit, is when we unboxed it and we took all the foam out of the inside of it that was like protecting the head and the gantry. The gantry was like this. It was like, you know what I mean? Like the X-axis gantry was literally cockeyed. And I just put my hands in there and I just went and just like jammed it back into place and then like punched it and it like turned on and it started working. It was like, that's the kind of thing where
did the mounting bolt for the gantry come loose or something?
It doesn't seem like it. It's like it's almost, it feels like it's on some kind of like slip
Did
slider,
you-
like it cranked, like it had a crunk, 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 you know, and
Did
you
you
could like
kick
actually.
it down the stairs at all?
I didn't kick this one down the stairs because it was in a like 200-pound crate. No, but it,
That's a
but
fair question.
yeah, I don't know. There's just the idea that like with really simple tools like this, it's simple to diagnose and fix issues. You know, like, oh, your gantry's craned off to one side, just jam it back the other way and hit start, and you're good to go. And it works like that, you know. And I like that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, you guys can hear more about that tomorrow. Watch the uncrating if you want to. I've never accepted a laser from Monport, and this was the first one, and it was just because of the form factor. Frankly, I'm just intrigued by the form factor. I like the size and the price and what you get for the money. So I finally said yes. They've been begging me to take a laser from them for years, literally years, and they threw the right one at me. And so I went for it. So you can see more about that tomorrow.
Interesting, man. And then scrolling through this thing, they don't mention any cut speeds or engraving speeds.
Which one?
On the Acmeir. Like I've literally, while you guys have been talking about that.
Oh yeah, that was one of my first questions.
Zero information about how fast it goes or what it can do.
It honestly probably. I mean,
it's probably going to be typical.
It might be early enough in the Kickstarter that they don't have that info yet.
That's if it's not a selling point, then it probably means it's not a selling point. Like that's
maybe
take that for what it means.
Mike C gave us some context, by the way. It was their previous CO2, a high-end benchtop, total lemon. They've done next to nothing to make it right. Probably still listed on their website. Yeah, it looks like they knocked almost half the price off. I'm interested to see that if you can find it.
Which unit was it?
The Mega.
Yeah, it's probably just sitting there in warehouses somewhere.
Yeah, give me one sec.
The Monport Mega.
Yeah, Mega CO2 and Mega Light.
Yeah, let's see it.
Oh, that looks like the
yeah, it's like a Polar knockoff.
So,
yikes.
One observation, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate that I don't necessarily like that the e-stop is so far from the controller interface, because what's your first instinct when you have a fire at the laser? You're looking at what's supposed to be the control center, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, but at least it's within like a hand or two reach of it. But I don't remember what model it was. Somebody was asking me about a model of CO2 to start out. And for whatever reason, in their infinite wisdom, the brand put the e-stop nowhere near the control panel or the front side. They put it at the back corner.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, and it's a CO2. It's you're not working with metals here where the likelihood of a fire is much lower.
Yeah.
You're working with organics, with something that burns.
Sure.
So I'm like, I can't sign off on this as a beginner machine. Like, if you want it, go for it. But if you want my opinion, it's not the right machine. And they ended up, I don't think they went with it, but I appreciate at least some thought into this, for the love of God. Let's check this thing out.
The Mega.
This is like a Polar.
What a good name. The Mega, anything. The Mega knife bed. The Mega, the diode module.
When you're deep into like
really
the $2,000 to
mega blows. Like what?
When you're deep into the $2,000 to $3,000 mark on a CO2 and you don't have a controller like to interface with on the front of the machine, all you have is a button that will start or not start the job.
Yeah,
I can't get behind that either, but that's just my opinion.
I don't like those either. That the big one that I took recently that I haven't really talked about a lot on here was the Algo Laser Pixie, which I took because that was one of the first diodes I saw that actually had an onboard controller and
I remember that
system. I talked about it last week a little bit. I hate machines that don't have that, dude. The single button machines drive me nuts. Also, is this an RF tube? Because I don't know how else they're getting 70 watts into something this size.
It might be a 70 watt peak. There's no way it's an RF tube at this price.
I bet it's substantially more expensive than the Reno. That's why I'm asking. It's almost an extra $700.
No.
I mean, I suppose not. It just seems really small. Oh, Mike's saying
I'll put it this way: if it had an RF tube, it would
Yeah.
advertise that it had an RF tube.
Yeah, true. That's fair.
It's a big
It's a bench
It,
top.
it comes with antifreeze, so no.
Well, this thing seems like the crappy enshittificationized version of the Reno that I just got. Like, this is, a hyper commercialized version of it.
Every brand puts out something that they're not the biggest fan of at the end of the day. They're not the proudest of. For Tech, that was probably the Polar. And for Gweek, they made their equivalent to that.
Yeah.
And it looks like Monport has the equivalent to that.
It looks like junk. Yeah.
I'm sure it's not their proudest moment.
Maker Daddy saying Monport is scam. Well, that's the beauty of the Reno. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't need to be good for $2,000. It just needs to literally like barely function at that price point, and that's what I got. And I'm
Also,
it's
got a controller.
It's got a controller. It's got the top wisdom
and it
controller,
costs
which
less.
is fine. Lightburn compatible. And again, this is half the price that, and I'm not like a Monport fanboy. I don't want to like give the wrong impression here. I'm just saying when I bought my brandless OhmTech 28x20, it was $4,000 from eBay plus shipping and like freight liftgate delivery. Okay. And this thing costs half of that. And you get a 65-watt laser. Like, I'm okay with putting work into a machine like this. I really am. All of these panels, by the way, that you see, so the top panels there, all that black on the top surface is all just acrylic, like literally black, transparent acrylic that is bolted onto the steel, like manufacturer body, like the chassis of it.
The frame.
So there's just like an internal steel frame. And one of the cool things I wanted to do was take off all of those acrylic panels and just cut new ones and like do colors or like some Romark naturals or something. Give it like a wood grain. I don't know. I just saw that was
you could just take them off and put some laser everything finesse onto them and put them back.
Yeah, when I am done with this review, I'm stripping all of the panels off that body and I'm just going to run it on the chassis the way it is, probably, because it's a lot of bolts. Everything's accessible, but it's a lot of like machine screws to get to them. And I just don't want to take them on and off constantly, even though it's a fairly decent looking machine. So yeah. I am probably just going to strip it down when I'm done, but yeah, just another interesting tidbit.
Speaking of similar topics, Maker Daddy says, I'm a Rolly fanboy. Speaking of Rolly, I'm pretty sure they were the first brand that I was aware of that did the whole dual wattage diode output type of deal. So,
they've never talked to me ever. I'm kind of surprised. I feel like I've talked to every laser company in the world and they've never reached out. Everybody go email Raleigh and tell them that you want Laser Everything to have one of their lasers.
Maybe they're the girl at the bar that's just like waiting for you to talk to them.
Well, I don't do that, so.
Well, then you can't play. You can't win if you don't play.
That's fine. I won't play. I've got a Monport Reno.
You've got this one under your arm, like
he's got me.
I work.
So, looking at the Acmeir
day shift at Twinkles.
So, looking at the Acmeir, now that you mentioned it, it kind of makes me want to get that big diode set up in my garage.
Why?
Because I have space to do that now.
Oh, shit.
The big
Why
boy.
am I blanking on this name?
Genesi?
The what?
Was it the Neji? What's the big one that you got? The Neji or the
Niji.
Yeah, it was the Niji.
Yeah, the Niji Max 3. That's right. Yeah.
It kind of makes me want to get that set up. I mean,
was a big one.
Anthony says that machine is the bee's knees, dude.
I know he got a lot of use out of it running his business. So,
Jay Yang says, "What do you
I'll
think
talk to you about it
the
after.
Tyvok K1 design?" Can we see that? We're just doing machines today. It's machine day.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that, to be honest.
Well, let's look it up.
K1 design.
Maker Daddy, I scored the deal of the year, picked up an RF laser for just about $4,000. Love it. I don't think I'm going back to diode anymore. RF lasers are tight, dude, especially nice ones. The Tyvok K1. Well, that is a giant thing, too. Look at that. What is that bed? Is that just a honeycomb bed? That's huge. That's
yeah, it looks like it. 800 by 400, 1200 by 700, or 1200 by 1200.
What is this woman standing next to it down here in the corner?
She's just really excited about that cutting capability.
Whoa, look at that.
That's a spread of prices, by the way.
It sure is. I mean, at least here, it looks like there's like...
Did you notice it's a CO2 instead of a diode? Also?
I do see that, yeah. And I'm also noticing that this has like a body to it instead of just a frame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It looks like, yeah. It looks like the tube goes on the whole x-axis.
1200 by 2000 sounds big. That feels really big. It's big, right?
I guess it would ride on the Y, actually. But
or
yeah,
1200 by 2000 together.
It literally transverses on the X and then it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's still a transfer, but it climbs up the Y. That's really interesting. I'm looking at the one down at the bottom. Like if you scroll all the way to, well, actually, I guess not the bottom, but like the mid section. I think you just passed it actually because I'm right where you are.
oh my god,
there, that's pretty sick. Jeez Louise, look at that thing! What a monster! Yeah, I mean, that's basically a full sheet, 47 by 78.
I feel like in conversation, if I was talking to the guys about this laser, I would call this like a flatbed CO2 at this point. Like that's where I would go from like a CO2 laser to like a flatbed CO2. In my mind, those are two distinct classes of machines. So also I would call this a flatbed CO2.
To be clear, too, it doesn't really look like this is designed for like rotary work or anything like that either. This looks like it's purely designed for flat stock marking and engraving and cutting.
And this is 100%. Literally what Kyle was talking about. Like if I'm a cabinet maker, I want a CO2. That's just me. Like it's going to be a much cleaner cut. It's going to be quicker. I don't know.
So what's the biggest version of this cost?
Yeah, CNC would also probably.
It was at the top.
There was like a whole
like
skew pricing.
This is like 4 foot by 8 foot, essentially.
Yeah.
1200 by 2000.
Yeah, so it's about the same price ish.
Yeah, it said it was 47 inches by like 72 inch, or not 72.
Yeah, I saw it. It was 47 by 78. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Yep.
Smart autofocus makes every cut perfect. HD camera for real-time placement. It's got a 5-inch touchscreen with multilingual interface support.
It's cool, dude. I like the little feet on it. It's got a bed, which is a plus.
What goes underneath that bed and gets burned to hell is another question.
It's up to you.
All Oreos.
Your garage floor.
2 Oreos.
Keep scrolling down. Is there anything else to see, or did we see it all already?
Start at the bottom and work. Oh, they have a Bigfoot.
Oh, there he is.
Officially gets the Alex check mark right there.
Yeah,
very
like
nice. 7.5 foot.
This is some big projects.
What I saw that was really cool is this.
Oh, here we go.
The acrylic, like having a machine that big to do acrylic signs and stuff. I literally have been asked to do like 3 large acrylic signs in just the past 2 weeks, and also there are like, see, this is what's kind of interesting. So I work with the guy who has a motorcycle shop. And he has a friend that does stuff with Porsches and stuff like that. And there are people who are doing rally cars, and they're trying to cut the metal out of their car, but they still need rigidity for like frame stuff. So they're trying to put pieces in that are like quick release, and they're acrylic. So they were asking me the other day, like they're like, hey, if we do a scan and get everything all set up, could you cut a piece that was like 3 foot by 4 foot? And it's just a little bit out of the scope of my like working range. But it's one of those things with a machine like this, you can cut some really interesting pieces for all kinds of stuff, dude. That'd be pretty dope.
Scroll back down just a little bit, Kyle. I saw something that I wanted to see. Oh, stop. Stop. Wait, go back up. The little spec readout thing there. Look, Z-axis lifting platform supported. So it's like maybe there is some play
Some
there.
add-ons in the future.
It says that it has an autofocus in it. So.
Yeah, it's got autofocus. So there's some movement going on. Though I'm sure the autofocus is the head moving rather than the bed moving.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a mirror movement, not a...
I am interested that there's like a Z-axis being talked about at all. Apparently there's also a built-in camera, which is kind of wild.
HD camera.
And we have Lightburn and RDWorks support, which is cool. So it's just got a DSP controller in there.
Yeah. Would you walk up to this lady at the bar? Like, hey, Tyvok, how you doing?
Hey, Tyvok. Yeah, hey.
100 watts. 100 watts isn't nothing. Like CO2 is nothing.
100 watts is a fat tube.
Yeah, I've got the 150, and it does a
weird
lot
exhaust control.
Like up and out the back.
Yeah. No, it goes into the like the tube is housed back there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got a chimney stack.
I mean,
it's getting stuck underneath the tube.
Do you hook up like hoses to the back of that to like suck it out of the building? What do you do there?
I haven't seen a photo of the rear of it, so I have no idea.
Let me watch this GIF. Oh, that's just about lasers.
Show us your exhaust. Airflow integration for odor-free operation. It offers a fully integrated exhaust system with a re-engineered airflow path, actively removing smoke and odor at the source. Ideal for studios, classrooms, and shared environments. It maintains a clean workspace without external attachments.
Are you telling me that it's filtering air? Is that what they're
telling you? That it has a fully integrated exhaust system with a re-engineered airflow path that actively removes smoke and odors at the source. But yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like, because I mean, if that's the case, now are you going to have to like buy filters for this thing?
I don't know.
It has it says it has adaptive dual mode exhaust, and it's got cutting mode and engraving mode. It switches between fine airflow and high volume exhaust modes depending on workload, optimizing smoke removal and extending the lifespan of optical components.
So this is much closer to the fiber cutter that Michael and I had. And when we needed to exhaust all of that nasty shit from cutting a bunch of metal, we had 2 giant industrial fans and operated it in front of a roll-up door. You know what I mean? And you just like blow it away, because there's not this is beyond like containment and like sucking air out of a contained space. This thing's huge.
Yeah, so, you're exchanging the entire room air at that point. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, because the room is the enclosure, you know?
Now, I will say this. When you scroll toward the bottom, remember that down at the very bottom of it where it has like the specs, it does say smoke extraction is external. So my guess is it has airflow to push it out, but you are going to have tubes coming. And it would make sense. I mean, CNCs kind of have that where you have the vacuum as it goes around, it moves. So it probably literally just sits there on the back, and because it's only moving in one direction, it seems like. You know, like it'll go across, and then once it reaches it before it starts, it just kind of comes back.
Dave Wilson says, scroll up and you can see the tubes out the back at the top of the page.
Also at the tippy bottom.
Directed text says, no free shipping on that guy. Yeah, I doubt it.
Scroll to the very bottom, Kyle. If for some reason that doesn't work. There's a picture of it with the 2 tubes coming out the back, like 4-inch hoses, just like everything else. So if you go up above, scroll up a little bit. All right, so go down to what's his name, Bigfoot. That's all right. Go down to Bigfoot, and then go up. go up like 2 scrolls, like 1. Keep going. Should be right there for you. Oh, your page is different than mine. That's so weird. Okay. But anyways,
Yeah,
I've
I don't know
got a
what to
picture of
say.
it. Yeah, it's got a picture of it here where it says email me for the launch special, and it has tubes connecting literally across the back, like one here and one here, and they're all flowing to the same side. Kind of like this guy. They literally like this tube right behind me.
Hmm.
So that makes sense.
I figured it'd be something like that. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah, that's really interesting though.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a neat laser. I like it.
See, and I feel like that's one of the things too. I'm so going back to the initial thing of what do we think of the first one that we looked at tonight.
Yeah, the Acmeir, the X1.
Yeah, the Acmeir. Like when you look at this thing, it's a Swiss Army knife. It's like it slices, it tries the dices, and it can make some fries. And so like it's one of those things where if you want to, and again, I've not played with this thing, I have no clue, but the fact that it's a diode makes me on edge because I don't know, I've never really messed with diodes. Most fires, like Bunny said, most fires I know come from diodes.
Yeah.
You have to be really cognizant of them.
Let's also be understand the fact too that diodes are typically the slow little brother in the bunch, right? So if you have something that's going to be running for 3 hours, what's more likely that somebody's going to walk away while it's running? Something that's running for 3 hours and they need a bathroom break, or a fiber or a CO2 that you're done in like under 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then going back to it, like you've got the CNC machine and the IR that doesn't really have a high wattage. So it's like, you're getting usability and versatility, I guess, but is it high functioning? And then looking at a machine like this that's just 100 watt CO2 and it has the same capacities for the most part, except it's focused on what it does. So it's like, to me, I've always been really cautious of those like things that have multiple purposes because like until they're proven, you just don't know, right? And then with CNC, with drag and stuff like that, there's so many things that can like just something torch wrong, or you put in a wood that you thought was wood A, and because the hardness was different, something really messes up and it cranks wrong. And then now you've got like something broken on, because by the way, you just took out your CNC and your lasers if you break something messing with CNC, because it is a skill that you have to learn. And it's like when things break on those, they break, you know? So like,
I think you're thinking about this way more than me. I'm just at a surface level. Now that we've seen this other laser, the CO2 one that we're looking at, I feel like the reason that this one seems silly and ridiculous to me and the other one doesn't is because the other one is supposed to be that big. And this feels like you took something that is supposed to be 400 by 400 millimeters and made it 4 feet by 8 feet. You know, like it just doesn't seem like it should be this big. So I can't get past that. That's where I'm at. Like the giant flatbed CO2 feels like it's built to be that big, and this feels like you literally just added extension kits to a diode until it was 4 feet by 8 feet.
Chris just posted multi-machines are always compromised in some areas for each function.
Right.
And that's kind of where my brain's at, where I think Acmeir maybe recognize that a lot of CNC users will add a diode to do part-time engraving on some stuff, right? And I think Acmeir took the reverse of that and said, we'll build a CNC that's meant to work with diodes. And maybe that was the approach, and that's why they ended up with a machine that can fit enormous full sheets of plywood under it.
Well, at any rate,
I don't know.
I don't think that the price is absurd. I would be interested to hear more about it as time goes on. Personally, I probably wouldn't put money into the Kickstarter right now until I saw more of it. And we really haven't seen a lot. Kyle wasn't even able to find the listing on the website before the show. I had to send him a direct link to it. So I don't know how upfront they have this yet or how hard they're advertising their Kickstarter, but it is something I think I'll keep an eye on. I'm not completely writing it off. It's definitely interesting at the very least. I'll give it an interesting.
Well, also, I don't even think their Kickstarter is live yet. So we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah. And that's, again, Mike C says the frame looks really dinky. Because that CNC router, I'm telling you, I've been in the room where when something just went wrong, and it's just like, and it's like stuff starts flying and things start snapping and cracking because it's literally just a giant spinning metal piece that decided it doesn't want to spin anymore. And it's like the wood's like, me neither. Let's go, bro. And God, like I've never seen someone move quicker to hit an emergency stop than my friend who was running his CNC. And he was just like, whew, avoided mess up there. And that was a steel frame, by the way. So, anyways.
Well, this was a fun episode. Laura says, Alex, how's Miranda? I miss her being here. Are the kids good? Getting ready for school? Yep, Nugget's starting preschool. Big girl. So she goes for her orientation in just a couple weeks. Nice. Miranda's good. Just holding down the fort. Just doing what we do. She's upstairs right now. I literally hear a toothbrush going. And I'm probably going to have to go rescue.
Oh, wow. It's already 10:15 almost. Holy crap.
Yeah, I have to go rescue her from Coraline so she can go to bed because she's got a long additional day tomorrow and the day after that 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 of raising our family. But she's good. That's nice of you to ask, Laura. Also, I saw Resin earlier, and I kept wanting to say hi to Resin, and we didn't get a chance. So, hi, Resin. Anyway, guys, that's the show. Interesting episode for sure. I saw a bunch of lasers I know nothing about. I have another silly laser to show you guys later. I saw that one too. I have another silly laser I want to talk about. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. But the difference is I can't find any public link to this laser at all right now. So I don't want to talk about it until it's at least up somewhere, some mention that it exists. So when that time comes, I'll share that one. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow morning, you guys can watch that Reno uncrating if you want to see the guts of the thing. I really am intrigued by it just because of that price point. And if you want to see all the things that are broken and wrong with it, then the uncrating should be an interesting experience for you. We did film that entire video. I went from crate to laser on my workbench, marking and cutting something in 3 hours, which was really impressive. I feel like 3 hours is a short amount of time to get a brand new CO2 laser and have it like
pretty impressive to have it moving.
Yeah, and we had to fix stuff like on top of that. So the 3 hours was pretty quick. So I do think it has its place. It's an interesting alternative to something like the Ohmtech 28x20. If you're looking at like mirrors and things like that, this laser is not going to be for you. But if you're not afraid of the elbow grease machines, you may find this episode interesting. So that'll be up tomorrow morning. As always, guys, check the link for descriptions to Kyle and Matt's stuff. Kyle's got infinitely repeatable vector patterns that you can buy that are great for marking patterns on, I don't know, just about everything. Kyle likes to show off the tumblers, how he does like the tumbler application with them. But there are very, very large number of other use cases for them, I think, as well. There's a link to his Etsy shop and an affiliate code so you can support the channel and Kyle directly at the same time down in the description. And Matt's offering business coaching now, which is pretty fun. So if you have questions about how to get your business set up, or, you know, like what kind of forms you need, or where you should take things as far as like a sole prop or an LLC go, or, you know, identifying a niche, or like picking a product, or deciding if you want to be a job shop or not. Am I getting this right, Matt?
Nailing it, dude.
Yeah, I feel like all of these things. Matt's really, really good at that stuff. He's always been the little businessman down there. And now you can book this little businessman and all do yourself, including his business trousers.
I should get a monocle. I should get a monocle for this part of the thing.
Yeah.
And just be like,
you should be the Monopoly guy or Mr. Peanut or both. One of those people doesn't have a monocle. Which one is it? I think it's Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut has a monocle.
Yeah, so
Mr. Peanut has a monocle. No, they don't. One of them doesn't. That's a Nelson Mandela effect thing. Look it up. It is. Look it up. Tell me
All right,
which
all
one
right.
of them doesn't have a monocle.
Let's see.
You think they both do, but they don't.
Monopoly Man. I know.
I don't think the Monopoly Man has a monocle.
Let's see. Images. I swear.
Directive text says the Monopoly
he
guy
doesn't.
never
He doesn't.
had the monocle.
Never had a
Yeah, he
monocle.
does. Yeah.
All right.
It's Mr. Peanut.
I quit.
Anyway, guys, if you love Mr. Peanut, don't forget to smash the like button. Let everybody else know the content is good. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time we go live. If you really love the show, guys, support it directly. Head over to masters.lasereverything.net to find out. Hell, I was reading the Nelson Mandela effect. Wow, the human brain is weird. Go over to masters.lasereverything.net to find out how. It's the number one way to support the channel. We got a beautiful, vibrant community over there full of people that love lasers, love helping people, and you might just be able to help a few people along on their laser journey as well. So make sure you go check that out. We really do appreciate it. And yes, Matt?
One last thing. The other thing was we just had our coin challenge winner.
Oh, word. Yeah, better shout that out for Anthony. He'll be upset if we don't mention it. It was Bunny Washer, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Bunny Washer made a dope coin. That's what you should definitely go check out on the Discord and look at the hashtag coin challenge when you get in there and try to find that. He made the Contra coin. Sick, dude. Super sick. So
Word.
just the last month, in case you guys are new to the show, it was the 80s video game special. So it's pretty sick.
Yep. The link to the Discord's down in the description as well. Anybody else have anything they want to add before we bail?
Nope. See you
all right.
next
Well,
one.
then I think that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
In the next one.
Wow,
Bye-bye.
dude, you froze with the finger. You froze with the finger up for so long. You were frozen. It was perfect.